G'day, welcome to Spindrifter, where we do simple faith for ordinary folk. Not your clever, deep theological stuff, just simple faith for ordinary folk like it is supposed to be. You know, the other day I was wandering about on the beach and throwing a ball for my dog like the good, obedient, faithful human that I am, and I had a thought. Here it is. Plenty of folks there are who do not know whether they are a Christian or not. Many there are who will say, I live in the United Kingdom, it's a Christian country. Really? Well, that's debatable, I will say, at the very, very least. Many, when asked, what is your religion, will say, Church of England. Somebody once said to me, Bank of England, which I think was probably a more honest answer. But nevertheless, the question remains, are you really a Christian? And I have 7 questions to ask you that will determine whether or not you are indeed a Christian, or whether or not you might be a Christian one day, but thus far are not quite there. So, here we go. 7 questions. Get yourself settled down. Nice, simple questions. Let's make a go of it and see where we get to. So, 7 questions to confirm, if you like, whether or not you're a Christian. Before I ask the questions, I'm going to make an assumption, and the assumption I'm making is that you as an individual already accept that this material world, everything around us that we can see and hear and feel and smell and touch, this is not all that there is. If on the other hand you are someone who thinks, no, this universe is all that there is, this life is all that there is, there's nothing else, then you can't be a Christian, my friend, and there's no point in you answering any of the questions that follow. You might as well switch off now and go and find something to do. I mean, you're welcome to listen to the questions, obviously, but they don't apply to you anymore. So, question 1. Very simple question. Do you believe in God? That is question 1. If the answer is no, then you can't be a Christian. If the answer is I don't know, then it means no. Because there is no I don't know. You either believe in God or you don't believe in God. So if your answer is I don't know, you're not a Christian. If your answer is maybe, but I'm not sure, that's the same as I don't know. So that means you're not a Christian. End of quiz. But if your answer is yes, I do believe in God, then carry on to question 2. So here's question 2. Do you believe that Jesus of Nazareth, of whom we read in the New Testament section of the Bible, in the Gospel books of Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, and a little bit in the book of Acts, do you believe that that Jesus was and is the Son of God, the Messiah, if you will? That he was God walking among us effectively. Do you believe that Jesus is the Son of God? That's question 2. If your answer is no, I don't believe that, you're not a Christian. You can't be. Doesn't matter if you go to church every week. If you don't believe that Jesus was and is the Son of God, you cannot be a Christian. If your answer is, I don't know, that's the same as no. If your answer is, I'm not sure, that's the same as no. Because you either believe it or you don't believe it. If your answer is yes, you believe that Jesus was and is the Son of God, or the Messiah, if you will, God walking among us, then carry on to question 3. And here's question 3. Do you believe that Jesus was crucified, and that as a result of that crucifixion and the awful treatment that he would have been given before the crucifixion, that would have left him hanging on to a thread of life, do you believe that as a result of that treatment, Jesus died, was dead, and that he rose again? That he resurrected himself? That he brought himself back to life? Do you believe that or not? Now you might think, well, yeah, I believe that, but I tell you, I've actually come across people, or a person at least, one, from the Church of England, whatever that is these days, with a collar round his neck, telling me that he didn't believe in the resurrection. And I've heard that message preached by 1 or 2 vicars or dignitaries from the Church of England, and I find myself wondering what they're smoking, because the resurrection of Jesus is critical to Christianity. Without it, you've got nothing. It's just a religion, the same as everything else. So, do you believe that Jesus died on that cross and that he was resurrected, brought back to life? Either you do or you don't. If you don't believe it, you ain't a Christian. You can't be. If you do believe it, step on to question 4. Question 4. Do you believe that after coming back to life, some 40 days or so after, having made himself known to quite a few people, as it happens, do you believe that Jesus ascended into heaven, that he left this domain, even though he can punch his way back into it anytime he likes? He stepped out of this domain and into another realm. That's what the New Testament tells us he did. Do you believe that or not? If you don't believe that, I would say you'd be struggling to call yourself a Christian, because that's part of what he did and that's part of who he is now. If you do believe that, well, let's carry on to the next question, which I think is number 6. You'd think at my age I'd be able to count, wouldn't you? Do you believe that Jesus will return? Do you believe that Jesus will return to judge everyone? New Testament tells us that Jesus has not gone for good, so to speak, and that he will be returning, and that when he does return, he will judge the living and the dead. And one way or another, that's you and me, folks. Do you believe that or not? If your answer is no, I'd struggle to see how you're calling yourself a Christian. I really would. So that was question 5. The next question, question 6. Do you believe that the Holy Spirit moves amongst us even today? Even if you don't understand the Holy Spirit particularly well, do you believe that the Holy Spirit works through believers in Jesus? Now, I've seen things in Pentecostal churches that I would say are bonkers. I've seen people rolling around on the floor making a sound like they're a dog or a chicken or something like that. And they claim that that's the Holy Spirit, and that there's absolutely not one word in the Bible anywhere that suggests to you that the Holy Spirit behaves like that. It may well be that they're being influenced by a spirit, but whether it's the Holy Spirit or not, I would say, is entirely debatable. The Holy Spirit works delicately and gently and quietly for the most part. And you may even not be fully aware that that's what it is that's prompting you or pulling you in a particular direction. But as a Christian, it's critical that we believe that the Holy Spirit lives amongst us, moves amongst us, works through us. Churches are filled with people who, well, they're not filled with anybody these days, but there's lots of people who go to churches who have no grasp of the concept of the Holy Spirit at all. And to them it's an academic exercise, it's a brain thing, it's something they've always done. Do you believe that the Holy Spirit moves amongst us, works through us, lives in us? Yes or no? Do you believe that we will be resurrected after this life and that we will live eternally? Eternally. The Bible suggests very strongly that we are eternal beings, whether we like it or not. And if that be so, well, apart from anything else, you can't commit suicide, can you? It also says that we will be resurrected as believers in a bodily form, and that we will be with Christ eternally, forever, in a place where there is no time. So in that respect, the term forever has no meaning. In a place where there is no sickness, no illness, no disease, no suffering, no crying, no tears, no misery, no people falling out with one another, no people divorcing one another when they don't really have much of a reason to do it, no people squabbling and arguing and fighting and going to war, none of that. That's the kind of place that we're talking about. Do you believe that we'll be resurrected in bodily form to exist in a perfect environment such as that? Rather like the one we supposedly started out in, according to the Bible, but the difference is we will have chosen to be there. So, if your answer to that question is no, I don't believe in the resurrection, well, read the Gospels, because Jesus had quite a lot to say to the people of his day who also did not believe in resurrection. He made it very clear to them that there will be resurrection. He made a number of things clear. You're not going to be married in heaven. Way! Deep joy. But there will be resurrection, and if you believe that, and if you've nodded yes to all those other questions, then you, my friend, are most certainly a Christian. Have a great day. Be blessed. I hope this has been helpful. By all means, share the link with people you know, people you might want to annoy. Hopefully, I'll see you in heaven sometime. God bless you all. Bye.